All right, here we go, Fred. Hi, Fred.
Hey Tim, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Fred. Welcome to the weekend special. It's 2103 Zulu on January 10th and 2025. And we have a special guest today. It's Fred AB1OC from up in New Hampshire. Hello, Fred.
Hey Tim, good to hear you.
Good to see you. And wow, that is some kind of station there, Fred. Why don't you tell everybody what you got going on there?
Well, my wife and I have been building this station for about the last, I don't know, 15 years or so. It's a two operator setup. Both we build it for contesting and DXing and just generally having fun with amateur radio. And our goal in doing it was to be able to do everything you could do on amateur radio from 160 up through 1.2 gigahertz, and at some point in time or another, and we managed to achieve that.
Wow. So
So
this is
satellite setup, EME, 6 meters, all kinds of stuff.
Wow. So this is 15 years of hard work. And I know most of the OMs on this that are watching today are saying, what kind of XYL do you have, Fred?
Yeah, my wife Anita is very much into amateur radio and been very supportive of all of the stuff that we've done together. It's actually been quite a nice lifetime experience for both of us together. We've shared a lot of fun around amateur radio over the years.
Yeah. And you've certainly done your part to give back to this great hobby. Fred, I want to focus on one thing today. Um, I mean, we could be on here for an hour, but I do want to focus on one thing today on the your one of your recent projects here, and let me know when you see it up on the screen there, Fred. Uh,
Yeah, we got it, Tim.
all right, so this is our ham station. Of course, this is Fred and Anita's station, and you recently posted something that caught our eye here at DX Engineering: low band receive antenna upgrades. Why don't you walk everybody through that?
All righty, great. Well, as part of our goal of being on all the ham bands from 160 up, we built a few years back a couple dedicated receive systems based on DX Engineering's equipment, an 8 circle active receive array, and also a noise canceling 2 element array that uses these active elements. I've been aware of the upgraded noise canceling controller, the NCC2, and the new preamps, and we had some maintenance to do this past fall, so I pretty much upgraded both antenna systems to all the latest electronics. There's some pretty nice enhancements in the upgrade. The new active elements are much better from a weather point of view. They're a little bit quieter. They have some nice features as well. They have an indicator on that indicates when they're active and powered, which is a great tool for troubleshooting. And they also have the ability to add gain. Now, in our situation, we don't really need to do that. But if you have very long feed lines, you could potentially take advantage of that. Then the other major upgrade was the noise canceller controller. We had an NCC1, and still do actually, which is you can click on that, Tim, if you want to blow it up, which was a very nice unit. The new NCC2 is a little bit better phasing performance, I think, and has some very nice features for using an active element along with a transmit antenna, handling sequencing through the radio, and so on. So while we were at it, we did that upgrade as well. And I was kind of messing around with this a few days before Christmas, not really expecting to do too much on 80 meters. And I managed to make a contact with China on 80, which is not all that exceptional with equipment like this. But given that we're at the peak of the sunspot cycle, I really didn't expect to work with DX like that. So you can see both of us were right on the gray line. The conditions were just about perfect.
Yeah, but
And
that is a long, long way to go on 80 meters, Fred, as you know, and that caught my eye too. That I mean, it's not every day that somebody in New England works into China on 80 meters.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And I give the NCC2 some of the credit here. The NCC2 is a great tool for DXing. The 8 circle, of course, is more of a contesting setup where you're trying to switch directions frequently. But the nice thing about the NCC2, and while it can peak a signal, where it's most useful is as a noise canceller. So in most cases, when I use this, I kind of focus on lowering the noise level for what I'm trying to work to the absolute minimum. And that allows my station to hear things that would be just about impossible to hear on, say, a normal transmit antenna or even a four square, I think.
Yeah, the NCC2 is very powerful, and you are right in that your assumption is correct with the phase performance and the noise canceling nulls are better with the NCC2. Greg Orty, who was the chief engineer on the NCC2, improved that by a factor of about 15 dB
Wow.
versus the NCC1. So, Fred, I think that's what you're seeing.
I think you're right. If folks are interested in this, I have some snaps of pictures from of actual waterfall captures with the NCC1. If you click through on some of those top links that are on the blog post, you'll find those. And you can see it really does do quite a job of cleaning up noise. Just for fun, too, I was playing around with it and listening to broadcast AM stations during the daytime down in South America. And boy, oh boy, there's a ton of the folks down there that broadcast basically on the normal AM broadcast bands. So the system's very sensitive. It works great. One of
You
the other
know,
elements of the project that was important, because we have up to 4 transmitters active at a time, sequencing to protect these antennas, make sure they're shut down properly if one of the radios, even maybe not using them, is transmitting. We ended up using our microham gear to build a multi-radio sequencer. And there's a little bit of information about that project as well that might be of some interest for folks who have contest stations and maybe consider putting in an 8 circle or something like that and want to figure out how to protect the elements from overload damage.
right. And let's make sure that we let everybody know, Fred, how to get to this information. You have it at stationproject.blog, but what is the main website that goes to this?
That is the main website, stationproject.blog. It's a series of hundreds of articles about different things we've done in amateur radio, and particularly about how the whole station here was built. It's probably one of the most popular blogs of its type in the world. If you scroll down here somewhere, I think we've taken almost 1.2 million views on this blog.
Wow.
So there's a lot of information on different projects and stuff that we've done, and some of the operations we've done. So it's a good source of information on station building. I'm actually hoping maybe someday to have the time and perhaps produce a book on station building. That's been one of the more memorable parts of our ham radio experience here, I think.
Well, it's true ham spirit, Fred, to share what you're learning, and that's what you're doing on this blog, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of a happy accident, Tim. About the time I got into amateur radio, I was sort of learning about blogging, and just for the heck of it, we said, well, let's start a blog and write about our station as we build it. And we really never anticipated the response we got from the community. But it's been a bit of a labor of love, and it also kind of serves as some built-in documentation for our station here. So when I forget how I did something, I can always go back here and find the original article on it, and at least get some basic ideas on what I did and how well it was all put together. So it's been fun.
Fred, can you talk a little bit about you and your wife's association with Eris and what you do with the space station and amateur radio?
Yeah, sure, Tim. That'd be great. So ARIS, for those who may not be familiar with, stands for Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. It's an international group of ham volunteers and associated people from space agencies around the world that coordinate contacts between schools and educational groups around the world and astronauts on the International Space Station. Now, there's amateur radio equipment up there that covers 2 meters and 70 centimeters. If you're a satellite operator, you probably use that. And what we do is we arrange for a local amateur radio club to partner up with a school, put together a station, and arrange a live chat for the kids with an astronaut while they're in space on the space station. I play 2 roles in that organization. I'm one of the 8 or 9 worldwide ground stations that are shared for people who want to make contacts but don't have access to the radio equipment. And I'm also a mentor, and in that role, I work with schools to help them get ready for these contacts, help local ham radio groups put their stations together, and just generally have a lot of fun watching everybody have fun talking to astronauts on amateur radio.
You know, Fred, that is a great way to give back. And I know you do a lot of things giving back to this hobby, but definitely a soft spot for high schools and colleges that are getting involved in an ARIS contact. I want to recognize some folks in the chat room. Richard is in here today. Mike 0 Delta Sierra Kilo. Also Jose X-Ray Echo 2 Zulu Zulu. Our friend Rodney from down in Dallas Fort Worth. Kilo Juliet 5 Fox Whiskey Charlie. We've got Alpha Alpha 2 Charlie Papa on. And our good friend Guy, K5 Tango Golf Sierra, part of the DX Engineering sales team. Fred and Anita have done some amazing work by bringing kids into the hobby through satellite communications and STEM activities. And also Kilo Golf 0 Alpha Fox is on with us today. And Sugar Alpha 7 India Radio Echo on with us. And let's see, Scotty Meyer, another one of the DX Engineering sales team, Kilo Golf 9 Zulu out in Vegas. Great to have you on, Scotty. And Rob from West Virginia, it's Kilo Delta 8 Yankee Whiskey Fox. And Bob the Traveler, WD8NVN, I need to look into the NCC2 system. It goes without saying, we use it here at K3LR. And it has been very good up at AB1OC. So, Fred, thanks for opening our eyes on what you can do with some of the new DX Engineering products, the ABA3 and the NCC2.
Well, thank you, Tim. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about some of the stuff we're doing. And if anybody's out there interested in learning more about how to work with a school and make an ARIS contact, check out aris.org, ARISS.org. It's relatively easy to partner up with a local school, and project will take a few months to do, but you will have one of the most amazing experiences you will ever have in amateur radio if you work with a school on a space station contact.
Yep, those are great words, and thank you for volunteering to help folks as they try to do these ARIS contacts, and it can really make the difference in the life of young people, which is what this hobby is all about. Well, listen, Fred, thanks so much for coming on. Give our best to Anita, we'll see you at Ham Bench in here shortly.
All righty, Tim. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Stay safe and have a wonderful new year. And
all right,
take care, everybody.
Fred. And thanks to all of you for listening in. Socks the cat in the shack. Here she goes again. We'll see you next week here at DX Engineering.
73.